Why do you think college is a scam?
Okay. So half of this audience, if you get a job, will get a job that doesn't require a college degree. 41% of kids that enter college will not graduate. And the vast majority of kids, 60 to 70% that go to college, I believe study things that are completely worthless, meaningless, and don't enrich society at all.
On top of that, a lot of people cannot find jobs, myself included. I've been job hunting, I have had no luck, and my resume looks good. It is very hard out here to find a job right now. I have friends that are degree certified and all of that are having a really hard time getting a job. I don't know what we're expected to do as a whole. I know for me right now, I am gonna get a bridge job. So let me know if you all would like to see that. I'm thinking about doing a segment of me doing DoorDash, Instacart, and those kind of things.
Yesterday, basically talking about how I have my 2 degrees and I can't really find a good paying job right now. Even though like I have a job and I'm trying to find like I guess a job more related to my degrees or that pays better because the world is really expensive right now, you know? So I just want to clarify, like, my degrees were in criminal justice and organizational psychology, and people are saying that like my degrees are the problem. I don't know. I thought they were good degrees at the time.
Students are learning that college/university is a scam. Now, just very quickly, myself as a university graduate that got 68%, only 2 marks off of a first class, I am currently a blue-collar worker. My degree was outstanding, my resume was outstanding. However, I didn't pursue a future in the corporate world. That's because I had different ideas, which is working well for me right now. But I understood very early on that the corporate world, like, I would just have to be there for 10 years for just a little bit of promotion. And I was like, I cannot risk it. 21 all the way to 31 just for the promotion they were talking about. And I wasn't happy with that. And that's what the bank told me. So what did I do? I left and I became a blue collar worker. But anyway, enough about me. We're going to look at Charlie Kirk and we're going to look at different other Americans and different other people that are talking about college being a scam. If it is a scam, let's find out.
I just want to talk to you about that book. It's a good segue.
Oh, did you read it?
No,
Okay.
but I want your thoughts, like,
Okay.
just face to face. Why do you think college is a scam?
Okay. So half of this audience, if you get a job, will get a job that doesn't require a college degree. 41% of kids that enter college will not graduate. And the vast majority of kids, 60 to 70% that go to college, I believe study things that are completely worthless, meaningless, and don't enrich society at all.
But is that the fault of the student or the college? Because I looked in the stats for this. It's usually because they either don't have the finances to support themselves going to college, they have mental health problems that lead them to dropping out, or stress, or their family's not supporting them. So is that the fault of college that they pick bad degrees? Is it the fault of the college that they can't support themselves, right? It's like getting a gym membership and then saying, well, I don't want to actually go work out. It's the fault of the gym.
So, a good question. So first, the 41% of kids that drop out, the federal government will fully underwrite any four-year college through FAFSA, through a student loan. Meaning, so if anyone has financial difficulty, that's not really a thing. The federal government will fully grant you your loan to any four-year university, right? So you might not want to take on that student loan burden. You might not want to take that on, but that's number one. Number two, I can't speak to the mental health issues. I doubt that 41% of the kids that graduate in that number all have mental health issues, but maybe that's the case. I'm not sure. I don't know that number. But let's talk about the institution itself. So everyone in the audience here, how many of you have had to take classes that are a waste of time that you wish you didn't have to take, that are a waste of money, and that every single hand goes up? Look around, look around, look around, look around. They're scamming every kid in this audience. They are forcing them to take classes that make them poorer, that take up their time in order to get the credential. That is an institutional scam. And by the way, every other part of life is all about your own customization, your Netflix account, how you get your burrito bowl, from how you dress, your Amazon cart is you are in charge. But you come to college and they say you must go take these 3, 4, 5 classes that are very expensive, especially for you out-of-state students, to go further into debt, study things that don't matter, to find jobs that don't exist. That sounds like a scam.
Correct.
At least in my personal experience, right? Like maybe some colleges, I would say.
What are you studying?
I'm studying economics.
Great. Okay.
And what I would say is that I have a great levity and choices of classes I want to take. Even if there's a bunch of general education classes, I have a great flexibility in the class I want to take. It's up to the student if they want to take meaningless classes
No, it's not.
given their credit limit.
Very quick before Charlie Kirk talks, when I was in first year in university, I remember I was doing business administration, right? So business administration was what I signed up for. That's my degree that I wanted to pursue. I wanted to learn how to be a businessman. I wanted to learn how to understand taxes. I wanted to learn how to understand the stocks and shares market. I wanted to understand this world that we never get taught about. But instead in uni, I was studying cash flow statements and marketing, how companies market. And this was just, and I wasn't clicking with any of this. I need things that are going to help me when I leave university into the real world. You know, I haven't got a company. I don't need to market my company. Everyone knows how to market their business, and they don't need to go to university to study how to market their business. There's direct to consumer platforms, like there's social media, there's ways you can pay for Google ads. There's various ways you can advertise your business to consumers. I don't need to study that in a business administration course for you to tell me how to market my business and make it more attractive to others when I haven't even got a business in the first place. So I found it very silly. Entrepreneurship as well. There was just a lot of nonsense in that. And I really wish I would have learned more about stocks and shares. I really wish I would have learned more about, you know, the financial systems that we use in today's society, not about some entrepreneurship, economics, possibility frontier. I don't care about a possibility of something happening. I need to learn business. So he's correct there.
Okay, but I mean, I would just speculate that this school still has specific criteria of classes, right? Am I correct? Yeah, you have to take a diversity class. That sounds like a scam.
Why just said
Well,
They are robbing you to take a diversity class.
it's actually not what you typically think. I think
I
there's,
mean, I'm taking, is it true? Do you guys have to take a diversity class?
no, this is true.
Oh, okay.
This is true.
All right, so that's a scam. Like, let's be clear, diversity class scam.
Can you define what a scam is?
When you are getting ripped off of with your money, your time, your resources, either beyond what is a market rate or against your will. So I'll give you an example. If you guys want to fly to New York and Spirit Airlines says we're going to charge you $2,500 for a one-way ticket, I think we'd all could agree flying Spirit Airlines for $2,500 is a scam. Like, you know it when you see it.
I mean, it depends on how you view the worth of college. Like, the Federal Reserve for San Francisco released a newsletter discussing the actual finances behind, is college actually worth it? And they found that by age 40, you recoup the average student recoups all their costs
If they graduate.
if they graduate, and even accounting for that, other economists also state.
No, so that's an important study. If you take out the top 10%, that's not the case. So
Top 10% of what?
Top 10% of graduates and income earners. So the top 10% end up flourishing with a college degree. The other 90% do not. Do you know that there are 11 million job openings in this country that pay $75,000 a year, that require 6 weeks of training, that require muscular labor or using your hands? 11 million job openings. Now, a lot of you guys are in college because you've been pushed into college saying that you must get the piece of paper, when there are good paying jobs, 11 million of them, but either your society, your parents, or your own choices are, no, I want to go to college, I want to go after that piece of paper. My contention is that there are way better options out there for a lot of students. Not every student, but a lot of other students.
that's probably why I became a blue collar worker, actually. So good point.
Charlie, I think a part of your core rhetoric, there's actually some real truth there that, like, I think there's people are getting really just pressure to go to college, even if they're making poor choices. I'm just saying that even while you're in college, you can make better choices to make yourself
I
better.
totally agree. Do you think most people do?
I know some that are making great choices.
Okay.
I know some that are making terrible choices.
So let's think about this. Why do you think, let's just say most make terrible choices? Would you say that's the case?
I'll give you 40 to 60.
Why do you think that is? Maybe because the institution incentivizes bad choices. It's easy to coast and still graduate. It's easy just to check the boxes, right? It's not an institution designed around excellence. It's around, let's get you through the mill as quickly as possible, get the piece of paper, pay your bill. Thank you very much.
But do you think that the culture around students going to college could change instead, around their decision making?
I think we need way less kids going to college. The institution itself is so broken, let's be clear. Forced diversity classes, DEI, all that stuff, it's nonsense. If it wasn't really, college really should be closer to what Hillsdale College is, which is about wisdom, beauty, truth, goodness, not just about job preparedness. But we've lost that completely. If it's about doctors, lawyers, engineers, and the skills, of course, but you know that it's way beyond that. I mean, people going to, not to pick on you, but you're studying economics. That's terrific. That's a good reason to go to college. It's not the best reason, I'll be honest, but it's a good reason, right? I mean, economics is a serious discipline. It's a real science. You know, we need people really rigorously studying that. So.
Checks out. Let's get into another video of college graduates complaining about having a degree or having the qualifications, but finding no jobs. Let's get straight to it.
The job market. Let's talk about that really quick. It sucks that jobs are just acting like they don't see that eggs are $15. Salaries have not increased, but everything else has. And the salaries that have increased have been pennies on the dollar. On top of that, a lot of people cannot find jobs, myself included. I've been job hunting. I have had no luck, and my resume looks good. It is very hard out here to find a job right now. I have friends that are degree certified and all of that are having a really hard time getting a job. I don't know what we're expected to do as a whole. I know for me right now, I am going to get a bridge job. So let me know if you all would like to see that. I'm thinking about doing a segment of me doing DoorDash, Instacart, and those kind of things. So let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in. The jobs that I've been looking at on Indeed and other websites, they're starting at $15 an hour. That's how much they were paying back in 2020. Things have changed, but companies are acting like, oh, we don't see that. I know y'all see it. And this is causing a lot of people to have to get two jobs.
So I made a video yesterday basically talking about how I have my 2 degrees and I can't really find a good paying job right now. Even though like I have a job and I'm trying to find like, I guess a job more related to my degrees or that pays better because the world is really expensive right now, you know? So I just want to clarify, like my degrees were in criminal justice and organizational psychology, and people are saying that like my degrees are the problem. I don't know. I thought they were good degrees at the time. I guess I was just too busy, you know, being involved with a really crazy man who got me pregnant. And then I just, you know, first semester senior year, I'm dealing with like an abortion, and then winter break hit and spring semester hit, and then the pandemic hit. And then I finished my classes online, and then I graduated, and I didn't really do an internship. So I guess, you know, it was my fault. I guess I failed myself by letting the wrong people into my life at the time. But hey, you know, whatever. I did the best with what I could do in the moment. My goal was to do good in my classes and just, you know, graduate. But I was also going through a lot of depression at the time, and we were also in a pandemic where everything shut down. So like I graduated into a pandemic, so that also makes it really challenging to just like get started with job experience when literally things are just in places are shut down for an entire year, you know? It's kind of strange. I kind of just did more classes online because I couldn't work because the world was just shut down. So, but also I don't want people thinking that I'm like have an attitude where I think everything should be handed to me. I don't think that at all. I work hard every day right now in my life. I work a full-time job. Like, I guess, and I'm not overqualified to do any job. I shouldn't have said that. Like, you're right. I guess what I meant was, what I should have said is that it's disappointing that, like, you know, you're told, like, you can get a job that's in your field or that has to do with your degree, when really that's not the case. At first, you just might have to end up taking a customer service job, answering phone calls just to get some type of job experience before you can even do anything related to your field, but that's not what they tell you. So I guess it was just a little bit of like disappointment that I was feeling.
Absolutely. I live in the United Kingdom, and I'd say that my case was very similar to the case that these women were talking about. However, I didn't find it hard to get into the blue collar field. I got into it quite fast, actually, because I had some connections. But I can understand how they must be feeling. You know, you probably don't have any links, and you've just gone through all of this hard work in college or university, and you're trying to look for a job that's paying well and you just can't find it. Number one. But number two, I'd also say that a lot of people study in fields that they're just not going to use. I was talking to someone, she was telling me I studied history. I was like, do you want to be a historian? Like, how can you use that degree? Like, how is that relevant in today's society? She was like, I don't really know. I just like history. And I'm like, you have to get out of this mentality of school. When it's school, you may like certain subjects. When it's university, you're now in debt for those subjects. So those subjects have to be helping you in some way, shape, or form in the future. And she had no clue. And a lot of people are studying psychology, a lot of people are studying science, and they have no intention of getting into those fields, but they study it anyway. And they feel like at the time that was the thing to do. And then now it's time to get into the real world and there's no jobs. It's just not relevant. No one's looking for that kind of, no one's demanding that kind of work. And then they're like, oh snap, I'm in tens of thousands of dollars / pounds, euros of debt, and my field isn't necessary. I don't need to work. I'm not being called to work in any industry or any corporate world in which I thought I could do before I took my degree out. And that's just the reality. So yeah, I'd say my business degree has helped me in a few points in my life, building, doing certain things, and possibly later on in life, it might still help me. But you know, we'll see. But in general, I wouldn't want to say college is a scam because I do believe that we need to be educated. And in today's society, a lot of people are just illiterate. A lot of people are not educated. They don't understand how things work. And I believe you need a more educated society moving on in the future, so illiteracy doesn't run through the population. But as far as college degrees go, look, it's up to the individual. For me, I still wouldn't regret taking out my degree, my business degree, but I feel like there's a few tweaks I would have done along the way to ensure that the road wouldn't have been so long. But that's all part of life. You live and you learn. So in all lessons, I wouldn't regret anything because you never know. What I've been through is probably what's got me to the point I'm in now, and I'm happy. So yeah. But for a lot of people, I will say that college can be a scam, and they're going into, well, number one, they're just going into fields that they're just not going to need, and there's no demand for those fields. So, you know, I guess it's up to, you know, the student as well. So yeah. But anyway, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.